Hello and welcome back to Mark's House and Garden, and as you can probably guess by the amount of sweat that's dropping off me at the moment, I'm not in my garden because I'm on holiday in French Polynesia and I'm on the wonderful island of Tahiti. So whilst I'm here, I thought it might be nice to share with you some of the flora and fauna that you might expect to see in a garden in Tahiti. I'm actually at the Hotel Intercontinental in Tahiti and they have an immaculate garden here. It's very well maintained. Now out there in the wilds, the gardens are nowhere near as well maintained as this. They're very lush and overgrown. But this garden is a good opportunity to have a look at some of the weird and wonderful plants that you do find on these French Polynesian islands. Let's start off with this thing behind me. Now I've absolutely no idea what this is, and if you do know what it is, please let me know in the comments below. But look at this, it appears to be some kind of huge phormium or yucca, but it's in the form of a tree. And look at these incredible roots here, roots that come from the branches and go down through the air into the ground, probably offering both support and the opportunity to get sustenance from the ground. Possibly also a defence mechanism if the water level was to rise and go through them like the mangroves that you see. But look at that underneath, a lovely cool calm canopy there. The next specimen I want to look at is that thing over there. Just look at that beast behind me. I think it's an agave, but you can tell me if you know otherwise. And agaves can be kept in the UK in an arid garden. You've just got to make sure they don't stay wet in the winter time. And there's a guy on YouTube called Great Northern Exotic Gardens, and he knows a lot about these things, and I'm going to do, inspired by him, an arid garden at home. But let's have a closer look at this thing. It's enormous. As you can see, I'm 6 foot tall and I'm kneeling just in front of it. Enormous. And look at those spiky thorns on each of its leaves. And as I say, the gardens here at the Hotel Intercontinental are absolutely immaculate, so well maintained. Of course that's artifice because plants just don't exist like this in the wild, but it gives you a nice idea of the variety of plants and the different types of plants you can enjoy looking at. But that's clearly pruned in a table shape. Now down there in the distance there's a very steep flight of steps up a boardwalk, and that's where we're headed next to see another spiky plant. En route, let's have a look at these little huts. Aren't they cute? And these beautiful pink blooms here. Now again, I've no idea what this is. It's reminiscent of a plant that we might find at home. It's almost like an apple tree, but these blooms are nothing like apple blossoms. Look at those. Again, no idea. Do you know? Let me know in the box below this video. So next we're heading up there because there's a few spiky plants up there I want to share with you. I'll speed this bit up so that you can see me walking up those steps in my flip-flops in fast forward. Now that we're up here and you can see I'm out of breath, let's take a look, a bird's eye view at the palm trees. Now, I don't actually know if these are coconut trees, probably not, because coconut trees, coconut palms, pose a risk. Apparently people can be killed, and very often are, by the coconuts dropping from the top onto their heads. And on many of the coconut trees out on the public beaches, there are warning signs at the bottom saying cocoa, and it's to remind you not to sit underneath them for fear of having your head bruised by a falling coconut. We'll go and have a look at the view from that viewpoint in a minute, but look at these. What is that? It's not a, it might be actually another agave, but it's got a slightly different type of leaf. It's slightly smoother, and I wonder if that's some kind of a low. They're obviously all part of the same family. Whilst I'm up here at the top for posterity, I might as well get a 360 view from this viewpoint, quite high up. The sun will be setting in about an hour's time, and the airport is literally just round that corner. You very often get planes coming down overhead, but just look how green the mountains are here. It's a beautiful landscape. At the moment, this time of year, it's very humid, which probably benefits many of these tropical plants. Very exotic. I am reminded a little of Torquay in a strange way, but look at that there, it's like a huge asparagus. I'm sure that's about to be one of the flowers for one of these strange, spiky, alien looking plants. And there's a motor launch coming into the harbour for the night. These palms here, with the intricate fronds, remind me very much of those parlour palms you can buy from B&Q at home. But they feel completely different in this setting. At home we keep them in cool rooms, parlours, but here they're out in the sun all day. And look at this beautiful plant here. Again, reminiscent of a star jasmine. It might be some kind of bush jasmine. I don't know, you tell me. I perhaps should have named this video, name that plant, because you probably know more than I do. But anyway, whilst we're here, it's nice to just look mindfully at these beautiful, delicate little blossoms. Another tree here that looks as if it's been pruned to have a horizontal habit, almost like an umbrella or a sun parasol. But look at these little nuts in here. Aren't they strange? Oops, that's come off in my hand. Didn't mean to do that, but anyway, there are plenty on the floor around the base, so they were going to fall off anyway. Just look how tall and perfectly vertical those two palm trees are there, which begs the question, what happened to that one to make it have a curve? Now I've stopped again to look at this, another palm tree, which has hundreds, if not thousands, of little ferns. Are they self-seeded or have they been planted there? Could this be an example of symbiosis? And there, tucked away, there appears to be the seed head for the palm above. A palm inhabited by ferns. How curious. My word, look at this. You notice things when you're mindful and you look and you take your time and you're actually curious and looking for things. But look at that. I think that might be called a breadfruit. Well, there's my hand. Huge, great big thing. Oh, it weighs a lot as well, probably about 5 kilograms there, or 5 pounds I should say. I think it's a breadfruit, and look at these leaves. At home I'd grow this for these leaves, aren't they beautiful? Great big leaves. Are they palmate leaves? Is that what they call them? Because they resemble the palm of your hand. And there's another breadfruit up there, look. Another one of these extraordinary Formium palms, whatever they're called. I don't know, but again, with the strange roots. But I've just noticed when you get close to these roots, they're actually spiky. Really sharp spikes going all the way up and down them. What's that for? A defense mechanism. Probably to stop rats climbing up and taking the fruit from the top up there. Look at this neat little bed here, 4 rows of spiky plants. Now I think these are pineapples because I've seen them elsewhere. I've never seen a purple pineapple though. But look there. I think that confirms my hypothesis. That's a little pineapple fruit growing on the top. And they've dug a gully there behind so that they can water them, and the water doesn't just run off. It will gather behind and seep down into the roots. Pineapples. We're going to look at another food crop now. Over there, there's a cage, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it when I get there. Now, French Polynesia is known for its vanilla, and you can see an information sheet here on the plant vanilla. And that is what this cage is all about. I think Madagascar produces more vanilla than French Polynesia, but French Polynesia is known for its vanilla, and it's a crop. And it's a very valuable crop, and that is why it's kept in a cage. It's to keep the wildlife off The vanilla pods which are inside, it's probably also to stop thieves from getting to them as well and stealing them. It's padlocked. You can't go in there. Now this vanilla, if you read that, it tells you has to be grown in the shade, and I think it takes about 3 years for the orchid, because vanilla is an orchid, to become mature enough to produce pods, and the pods have to stay on the tree for 9 months. This is kept in the shade here. It's quite labour intensive, so that is why it's protected by this cage. And these have been pollinated with a paintbrush. There we go, vanilla. Over there's an unusual looking plant which I'm going to look at next. Now it has the appearance of a giant leek, but it's not a leek obviously, it's some kind of succulent. Let me get a hold of that leaf and tell you what it feels like. Leathery. It feels leathery. Again, you need leathery leaves in this climate. More little plants, they're beautiful. But look at that. A thick pseudo trunk with these big variegated leaves coming out of the top and some pups growing from the bottom. Many of these plants we can't grow at home in the UK because we don't have the climate. Some of them are houseplants, and I'm thinking specifically about the mother-in-law's tongue, which grows freely out here in the open air. Look, a bed of mother-in-law's tongue over here. A closer look at that. Everywhere you get these little statues, it's an emblem. It's emblematic of the French Polynesia. It's a tiki statue. Look at that. Mother-in-law's tongue, vanilla pod in the shade, and there's the sea. And here's another avenue of those palms. Now, I said earlier in this video that they're probably not coconut palms, but I might have been telling a lie, because over there at the top of that one, I think I can see coconuts. I wonder if they periodically climb up these and take the coconuts off them to stop them from hurting anyone. Perhaps they do. But that one there, which is leaning out over the sea, is still full of unripe coconuts at the top. Can you see them up there? Wonderful. And there's one of the staff from the hotel. Wouldn't it be good to be able to go to work dressed in a sarong like that? A cute little aside now. It's not gardening really, although there is a pond here. But this pond is habited by terrapins. Look at that lovely big terrapin there sat on the rock. Can you see it? Let me try and zoom in a little bit. Basking in the late afternoon sun. Now the other day I came here and he was sat on that rock and had his legs stuck up in the air, and that was in the morning, and I think he was absorbing the heat because they're cold-blooded, aren't they, terrapins? But look at that. Let's go around the front and get a better view. A terrapin. I think in the States they call them turtles, but turtles are a completely different animal, and I'll show you some turtles in a minute because there is a turtle sanctuary at the Hotel Intercontinental in Tahiti. Again, I'm going off the subject of gardening, but one of the things I've learned about this lovely hotel, the Hotel Intercontinental in Tahiti, is that they have a swimming pool, and they have right next to it a turtle rehabilitation centre. There are some turtles in there, and I'll try and get a video of one in a moment. And this is a turtle lagoon. You can't swim in this, it's for the turtles and their rehabilitation. You can swim in that. You can also swim in that lagoon, which is separate from this one, and that's got coral and fish in it. We'll go there in a sec, because coral, I suppose, is a type of plant. So we're on the boardwalk now, which separates the turtle rehabilitation lagoon and the swimming lagoon. Let's see if we can see any turtles. Not only are they rescuing and rehabilitating turtles, it's quite educational too, so it's nice to see a huge international hotel group doing its bit for preservation and conservation. Still on the lookout for a turtle. I'm sure I'll see one any moment. Now, I happen to know, because I came earlier, that there are 4 turtles here to look at in that little net there. There are 2 little baby ones. We'll have a look at them now. Can you see there? Look. cute little turtle. Let's zoom in a little bit, give him his opportunity for a close-up. And there's another one. And then over there are 2 more turtles which are being rehabilitated, and they put, because these can't dive down apparently, they put vests on them to keep them cool and wet. But that there is a turtle with a vest on. Poor little thing. I wonder what's happened to him. Well, he's not little, it's quite big actually, but you wonder what's happened to that. Has it been hit by a boat propeller or swallowed some plastic? Anyway, it's given a good opportunity to recover well here now. Look at these pretty little flowers here. Aren't they sweet? A shade of pink next to a shade of orange, and it goes really well. There's one of the hotel trucks passing by. Now I've rambled on for quite long enough, but there is one more thing I want to show you, which is one of my favourite plants. I've seen these in Singapore. I'm not sure where they are native to. It's not the bamboo, which you can see here, which is making a beautiful noise in the wind. It's these, what I call traveller palms. Look at that. Amazing. Now, I'm going to estimate that that is 30 feet high, and it's got a massive span. Now, remind me, because I've forgotten, why do they call them traveller palms? I can't remember. Let's have another look. There's another one right next to it there. Isn't that amazing? And look at how the leaves have shredded in the wind. Now, I get a little bit upset when my bananas at home get shredded in the wind, but it's their naturally evolved mechanism for stopping them blowing over, because it lets the wind through. Probably other things it does as well, but anyway, that's my hypothesis. Look at these wonderful traveller palms. I think that's the most impressive specimen right there. Amazing. Bamboo behind. And that's the smoking area for the hotel. Incredible. Some beautiful, chunky green bamboo here. So I promised you some corals, and that's where I shall finish. We'll have a closer look at that tiki statue, and then we'll go and find some corals to look at. Are corals plants? I don't know. You're probably all screaming at me. Corals are not plants. Forgive my ignorance. Correct me if I'm wrong. They did say we were going to a coral garden the other day, so let's head in this direction over here. There's some corals and some fish, and that's where I shall finish this video. So there's the expanse of the hotel in the distance. There's the swimming pool. There's the turtle lagoon, and this is another lagoon which is actually connected to the open sea. But there's a mesh under this bridge, so it stops the wildlife from coming and going, and it's actually home to many fish down here. Let's see if we can get the lighting right and have a look at some of these fish. Well, there is a little coral garden under the water. Let's zoom in a bit. Look at that, beautiful. I did go snorkeling the other day and see sharks and corals like that. So I shall now finish this video. So say thank you once again to Hotel Intercontinental for doing your bit for nature and preservation, and for letting me stay for the day, although I have paid a fee, in honesty. And yeah, I'll finish this video with some shots of some of the other plants I've seen on my holiday to French Polynesia. Hope you've enjoyed this. I'll see you soon back in the UK for some more house and garden adventures.